Futures trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. I am Cody. He is Andy. It is Wednesday, June 4th, about 12:35 Central Time. How you doing today?
You know what? If I was any better, I'd beat you. How about that? I see that you put some sunscreen on this time.
I did. Even it out a little bit.
Even it out a little bit. Good for you. I forgot to put sunscreen on. I'm burnt. I got burns going on.
It's summer.
I don't know
man.
what I was
Let it
thinking.
happen.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Let it happen.
You know, just let it happen. Just let this.
Just get burnt. It's summer. That's what it's there
Just
for.
Get burnt out. Summer is upon us. You know what that means? Ice cream.
More ice cream.
More ice cream. More cowbell. More ice cream. And this segues really well into our request from Joey and her mom. So it's kind of like this is the first time ever we had like a mother-daughter dual request.
Watching Tech Talk together, wanting to see it.
Butter. Spot butter. We're talking about ice cream.
Butter.
Spot butter. Let's go.
Hey.
A little paparuski here. This is looking perky. So we had this in here. I didn't touch any of these lines from last time.
Okay.
And let's see if we can widen this bad boy out a little bit. Let's do that, shall we? So we put in here yesterday. We broke, or not yesterday, but the last time we looked at it, broke out of this downtrend. So I'm gonna delete that. So it's in there. It's timestamped. It's deleted. So we can kind of widen this thing out. It broke out of this major downtrend. And you know what's super interesting about this? You ready?
I don't know.
This right here, I think you could characterize it at what is known as a...
Oh, I think I know what you're going to say.
breakaway gap.
Okay.
Breakaway
so a gap that doesn't technically need to be filled.
Breakaway.
You're gone away.
Correct. When you see a gap like this after a major trend has been broken, this is typically the beginning of a new trend. A breakaway gap. It is breaking away from the previous price action. It's doing it on fantastic volume, by the way. We've seen tons of loads change hands at the CME. Mm-hmm. But also too, we'll look at the futures market in a second, but the futures market is saying we got more to go to the upside. There's a nice healthy premium baked into this bad boy, and we're well discounted to the rest of the world, right? I think earlier this week, the Spain Hour pointed out that European butter futures, the F-Butts, were trading a US equivalent about $3.75 a pound. $3.75.
We talked about it on the GDT, and he had mentioned that on the GDT, and I had a couple people email in and said, "Is that correct?" And
is that correct? Did you not lose $2.75? No, sir, no, ma'am. $3.75. So to put that into perspective, I have to scroll. Look at how far I had to scroll. That's where that is. Look at how far I had to minimize this thing to get up there. That's where that is. Wow. So yeah, we do this Fibonacci retracement here. The first step would be a third, which is 260. I think we blow through that. And the next step is to right. I mean, I think the next step is to get in between this 50% and 2/3, this 271 to 283. What's interesting is we saw a similar type gap right here, right?
Yeah.
And then plummet. I'll use the word plummeted. It plummeted just almost right down to 225. So I think you got to be super careful of this guy right here. This looks like a breakaway gap. Again, we're super cheap with the rest of the world on a spot basis. The futures market's there from a cash and carry standpoint. It's telling us that we're going up.
Yep.
And what's super interesting too is that the futures market's not just, it's maintaining a premium. So today's cash market, we're recording post cash market today. So today's session was up 6 cents, and futures up front, up an equal amount. So it's not like it's giving up that carry. So the futures market is telling us that that carry is going to maintain, which gives even more incentive for price action to rally on the spot basis. This thing looks strong.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's what John had mentioned also on the GDT, and I know he mentioned it internally also, was that cash and carry is extremely strong going out into the end of this year.
Very strong. And here's another one. So there's the momentum. It's dead bang at zero. I mean, it's right there.
Oh, yeah.
It crossed the zero September, right at that gap, by the way. See that? Look at that. What a coincidence. Yep. So if we get just another close higher on a weekly basis like next week, this will be positive territory for the first time since Q3 of 2024. That's bullish. Same thing here. You dipped into oversold, clearly got out of it, and you still have plenty of room. There's still room for that to go before it's considered overbought. So from a technical basis, you're going to have like something has to materially change in the marketplace. You need to see some sort of new information to consider, because you look at this and I can't see a bearish argument here when you just look at the chart and you look at the secondary stuff. So, and let's take a little peeky. This is our second chart. This is also comes at request from Joey and her mom. This is September butter futures. Really nice bull flag here.
Yeah.
Look at this pattern. I mean,
breaking away after today.
Yeah, that looks good. Big uptick here. Clearly got out of this downtrend, right? I mean, you could say that we've been out of it for a while, right? I mean, depends on where you want to draw the line, but basically call it right there, right? Got out of it. Consolidated, right? That's always a good sign of moving in the opposite direction, right? You not just pop right back out of it. You have a nice period of like accumulation, consolidation, right? And then start to go. So I would not be surprised at all if this contract has yet to see contract highs. So contract highs were 288. Yeah, contract highs were approximately 288. I would not be surprised at all given this structure. Let's just measure this bad boy out here for a second. Hang on. So what you'd want to do, you call this the flagpole. And there you go.
Okay. And
depends on where you want to put it. But let's say it breaks out. That, I would argue, is in the
$3.
Uh-oh, $3. Uh-oh.
It's bullish.
What was that number that John was talking about?
For Europe? Yeah.
You already said
375?
375. 370? The 3 handle, not 2.
The 3.
3.
Right.
The futures look great. This is this is a great formation here. Money flow looks good.
The volatility that we saw last week into this week is amazing. Limit up, limit down. Like, I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday last week. And then
I love the point you're making for sure. Like what ended up happening is basically the futures. We had that big rally and then cash broke like back, I think it was like down 6 or 7 cents or something that day, down like 6-7 cents. But then pre-cash the next day, we were already up we retraced like 80% of that break before the cash market, when the previous day's cash market was down like 6-7 cents and futures got hammered. So like the price action in the futures, to your point, the price action in the futures, it's just so impressive. It's like buyers look at that and say like, buy them. Like this is an opportunity. That's bullish for sure. The way it traded is just like, there's no two ways about it. That's bullish. So yeah, I mean, I think butter's like is like, you think about like cheese has made this big move here recently, right? Over the last like 45 days. I think butter is going to be the next one in the industry.
Okay.
Great request.
Like sounds of that.
Yeah. Great request. Coming out of Joey and her mom. We'll bring more of them. All right. Last but certainly not least, this one, more of a macroeconomic view. So I think I've told you the story, but like we used to call it the SPOO. And I always thought that was just like the name that they used on the floor for the S&P, but really that was just like the front month. At the time when it was SPU, the September contract, they would call it the SPOO. And so I just like stuck with it. I didn't know that. So he scolded me when I typed in SPOO one time. Anyways, so this is the June S&P contract. This is looking awfully perky. What do you think?
It's looking pretty good. People are retirements on their way back.
Pretty good. Back at 6,000. This has been, the volatility here this year has just been outrageous. All the tariff noise and all the, all that stuff going on. It's moved 1,000 points. 1,000 points since April. April's low. Think about that. That's just massive.
If you want to say time in the market, not time in the market, but if you could have timed that move, come on.
Come on.
Momentum is just above zero on the momentum also? Sheesh.
So what sticks out to me about this one is you have, assuming, let's say we get we talked about it last time. We were kind of putting around the 6,000 mark, right? And this was, back in late Feb, early March. You and I talked about it. Wherever we go from 6,000, it's going to be a pretty nasty move, right? It just seems like this price point where you kind of putter along, but it's just like this. I feel like it's just this big mental number that everybody has. It's 6,000 S&P, not 59.99, 6,000. So this looks like it's ready to go higher, right? So you have the higher low right here, And the market isn't even like giving it a chance to really break down from, from like here, right? And so you have this break, comes back, tries again, fails to get down to a new low, and is now reapproaching this number where once we crack through it, it got really volatile. I think this gets dicey to the upside.
To the upside.
I think if you get a close through the 6,000 and then open higher, I think you got to start talking about like, do we get back I think you start talking about getting back up into here, contract highs for the year.
Go 6,200.
Yeah, this looks good too. I mean, this is a weekly, so you keep bumping up against, this. You can only keep bumping up against these highs for so many times before you just get that next like, boop. And then like the next point of resistance is this high from right here. But I mean, this is just like a great look at this V bottom, nice V bottom right there. Those
very
typically
V bottom.
It's like a slingshot engaged. What do you like to call it? It's not slingshot. It's like,
yeah, it is slingshot. I mean, that is exactly what that looks like.
Yeah.
Hit 5,000, right back up.
Cody bought everything at 5,000.
I wish.
So I guess the flip side of it is, it's hard to argue that this could make an M because you're already like traditionally, you'd want to see it fail like kind of around here, right? Fail to test this area, which it already has. So this close at 59.81 is higher than this close at 59.60, basically. So you're already
technically made a lower high if we were going to M formation this thing.
Correct. You'd be looking for it to stall out like kind of around here, below this kind of formation right here, and then start to back off.
Yeah.
But this just didn't do that. And so the lower high here that it's making, strong like bull, man.
Strong like bull. I think everyone likes to hear that for the S&P.
Usually, yeah. You know what though? I could never figure out why like you'd see like on the news stocks down like 300-400 points or whatever it is. Like, where's the guy who's short in the back? Like, no, they always have like the guy who's just like. So, all right, well, that's it. That's all I got. Any closing remarks there?
I mean, we greatly appreciate Joey and her mom for asking you for the butter. I mean, they wanted to technically look at something for ice cream, a little bit on the class 4 side. Butter was the perfect roll into that.
Perfect.
Keep them coming, everybody. If you have more, we've got time next week to have more requests, I guess. But until then, that's kind of going to wrap up the show for Andy, myself, and Paige on the back end, keeping us in line and making sure we don't make fools of ourselves.
Can't make any promises on that.
We appreciate you guys watching, tuning in. Give us a like, a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your foes, tell everyone.
It's families and foes.
Watch Tech Talk. Have a great week, an even better weekend. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.